The rocking chair was already moving when Clara stepped onto the porch. It creaked slow, like something breathing through dust. A strip of yellowed paper fluttered against its backrest. She hesitated. Her boots crunched softly on the warped floorboards. Her brother stayed at the steps, arms crossed, not speaking. She reached out, peeled the tape gently from the wood. The paper came with it, fragile, nearly see-through. It read, "Try again tomorrow." Beneath that, the date, August 18th, 30 years ago. She turned it over. Blank. "What is this?" she murmured. "Probably trash," her brother said. "The tape's new." "Then someone's playing." "Who?" He shrugged. "Don't look at me." Clara looked again at the chair. It rocked once more on its own. No wind, no cat, just that steady motion. "This chair didn't survive the fire," she whispered. "That house didn't survive the fire," he said. She stepped back. "You don't think it's the same one?" "I think you're tired. We came out here to look at a dead property, and now you're ghost hunting." "It's the same handwriting as Mama's recipes." He looked away. A car door slammed down the road. Gravel crunched under boots. Mrs. Tellon, their nearest neighbor, came limping across the weeds, hands on her hips. "You see it too?" she asked without greeting. Clara held up the paper. Mrs. Tellon didn't come closer. "Should have burned. That chair. That whole porch." "It didn't. Looks like it wants something." Clara turned toward her. "What do you mean?" Mrs. Tellon's voice dropped. "It rocked like that the day your daddy died. Sat still for years after. Then started creaking again the night your mama left town." "My mother didn't leave." "She left something," Mrs. Tellon said, "and you ought not be here. My name's still on the land. And some names don't belong on land anymore." The old woman looked at Clara's brother. "Yours neither." He said nothing. Mrs. Tellon's gaze lingered on the chair. "It shouldn't be here." "I didn't bring it." "Didn't say you did." She turned and walked off, limping faster than she came. Clara looked back at the porch. "How does a rocking chair come back after 30 years? You're asking like it's normal for it to burn in the first place." "It did. I saw it. We were kids." "You saw the fire too." He said nothing. She walked into the house. The air was dry. The boards creaked sharp beneath her. Ash still clung to corners. Some rooms were blackened, some just pale with time. She ran her fingers along the old wall near the kitchen. A nail stuck out, rusted. "Something was hanging here," she said. "Picture or a letter." He kicked at a pile of char near the fireplace. "We should leave before dark." She turned slowly. "Are you still afraid of the dark out here?" "I'm not afraid. I'm smart." She folded the paper, slid it into her jacket. "You're taking it?" "I want to know who left it." "Maybe it was always there." "The tape is new, Nate." "Then someone's playing games." 30 years ago?" She stared at him. "What happened 30 years ago?" "You know what happened." She stepped closer. "Tell me how the chair came back." "I don't know." "Then say you're scared." He looked at her. "I'm not scared. I just remember." "Remember what?" He didn't answer. The rocking chair creaked behind them. She turned. The wind still hadn't picked up. Nate stepped outside first. "We need to go." Clara stood in the doorway. "I think Mama wrote the note." "She didn't." "You didn't even read it." "I don't need to." "She didn't. She always said things like that. Try again tomorrow. She said it when we messed up in school. She said it the day Daddy." "Don't." "You remember." "I said don't." She looked at the chair. "It's like she's waiting." "She's not. She's gone. And if she wasn't, she wouldn't come back to this place. She never left in her head. Neither did you, apparently." Clara sat on the porch rail. The note pulsed in her jacket pocket like a heartbeat. "We were supposed to sell this land," Nate said. "Get out clean." "We still can." "Not if you start digging into ghosts." "I'm not digging. I'm remembering." He lit a cigarette. "You always did that. Made stories out of the shadows. Maybe the shadows came first." "You believe in curses now?" "I believe in what repeats." The chair groaned again. The tape strip fluttered on the armrest. "I think she was trying to stop something," Clara said. Nate exhaled slowly. "Then she failed. Or someone didn't listen." He looked at her long. "You think that someone was you." "I don't know." "You were 10. You were 12. He didn't speak. A long silence settled. Then Clara stood. I walked to the chair. It stopped moving the moment she touched it. She sat. "Don't." She held up her hand. "It's just a chair." But her face paled. Her fingers traced the arms. "Nate." "What?" There's something carved here. He stepped closer. She moved her hand, scratched into the armrest. C.W., August 18th. Her initials. This wasn't here before. Looks old, he muttered. I never carved this. Then someone did it for you. Her eyes lifted. You think it's her? I think we should leave. She didn't move. He snapped. Clara, I'm staying tonight. His face twisted. Hell you are. You can go. I'm not leaving you here with that. She looked around. It's just the house. No, he said. It's not. She stood again, walked past him through the porch doorway, into the house. The chair creaked once more behind them, and then it stopped. The chair didn't move through the night, but the air did. Heavy, watching. Clara left at first light, note folded in her coat, dust in her teeth. Nate didn't follow. He just stood at the porch, arms crossed, as if holding back something he hadn't told her. The sheriff's office sat quietly at the edge of town, squatting and hunched like everything else built before people stopped caring how it looked. The blinds were drawn. One flickered fan turned behind glass. She pushed the door open. The bell didn't ring. Sheriff Rudd sat behind his desk, boots on the radiator. He didn't stand when he saw her. You're early, he said. I didn't sleep. Something happened. She walked forward, placed the note on his desk without speaking. He stared, didn't reach, didn't blink. Then, too fast, his hand slapped down on it. That's yours, he asked. No. Where'd you get it? She sat in the chair opposite. Porch. Ours. He folded the note once, then again. His fingers were stiff. You didn't answer, she said. He looked up. Answer what? You know what? He exhaled through his nose. You come here to stir old dust, Clara? I came here to ask what the hell this is. It's a note. It's a note dated 30 years back, in Mama's handwriting, on a chair that burned. You're mistaken. No, I'm not. It's probably a joke. From who? He said nothing. You recognized it the second I put it down, she said. You think I've got time to play games with old chairs? I think you know what happened the last time someone found one of these. He leaned forward. Are you saying someone planted that? I'm saying it wasn't there before. You sure? She glared. You were there, Sheriff. You were a deputy back then. That was a long time ago. You were the one who knocked on our door that night. He didn't flinch. You had blood on your shirt. I had a lot of things on me that year. You told Mama to keep us inside. I told everyone to stay inside. Then Daddy didn't come home. He looked away. You remember what she said to you? Clara asked. The day after? No. She told you, you'll see it again when the time comes. You were 10. I remember her voice better than yours. He stood. I walked to the file cabinet, opened a drawer that was stuck halfway, shut it again. Pacing now. Boots loud on old linoleum. You kept the note? She asked. He hesitated. I want it back. He didn't move. I said I want it. He reached into his pocket. Hold it out. She snatched it. His hand stayed in the air, fingers twitching. You think this means something, he said. I know it does. You think it's a warning? Number, I think it's a repeat. He turned. I looked out the window. Your daddy was stubborn. He was right. He got people killed. He tried to protect them. He tried to fight something bigger than he could see. Was he wrong? The sheriff turned. He was loud. She stared at him. So that's the sin, huh? Speaking too loud? No, he said, speaking like it mattered. Maybe it still does. Not here. She stood. Maybe not to you. Are you planning something? I don't have to. Seems like something already started. He stepped closer. His voice dropped. Some things are better forgotten. What do you tell yourself? I tell myself we kept the town quiet. At what cost? He looked tired. We had to pick peace or truth. We picked peace. You picked silence. Same thing out here. No, it's not. He turned away. Clara stepped toward the door. Was there another note back then? His voice came soft. Yeah. What did it say? He didn't answer. Sheriff? He looked at her. It said the same damn thing. She nodded once. You done? He asked. For now. Are you planning to stir up trouble? She opened the door. Depends who calls it trouble. Outside, the wind had picked up. The road looked the same as it always had. Flat, cracked, endless. She didn't look back. Inside, Sheriff Rudd sat again. Pulled a drawer open slowly. Took out a folder with her family name. Inside, another note. Older. Same words. Different handwriting. He said it next to a badge, and didn't touch either. The field behind the house hadn't grown anything in years, just thistle and bone-dry weeds. Clara walked slowly, pushing aside the brush with her boots. The sun sat low, flat light stretching across the dirt like it didn't want to stay long. The well waited at the far edge, wrapped in rusted fencing, half sunk into earth that had cracked around it. The wood lid had rotted through. One side hung open. Nate followed but didn't cross the fence. "You remember this?" Clara asked. "Yeah. We weren't allowed near it." "Exactly." She climbed through the broken rails. He stayed behind. "Mama used to say not to even look in it," Clara said. "I remember what she said. She said it swallowed things." He looked at the sky. "It's getting late. Still light. Not for long." Clara crouched beside the stone edge. Her fingers brushed along the old brick. "There." "What?" "Initials." She scraped off some moss. "C.W. August 18th. He didn't respond. "She never told me she came out here." "She wouldn't have." "She carved her name." He crossed his arms. Clara looked down. The black inside the well was thick. Still. "Have you ever looked in it?" "No." "Why not?" He hesitated. "Because she said not to." "You listened to her." "Back then, yeah." She leaned forward. Nate shifted. "Clara, I'm just looking." She picked up a pebble from the ground, small and dry. "I wouldn't," Nate said. She dropped it. They waited. Nothing. No sound. No splash. Just stillness. "That's not right," she said. "I told you." "It didn't hit." "It never does." "You tried it." "No," he said. "But I know." She looked at him. "You really think she came out here alone?" "I think she was scared." "Of what?" He didn't answer. Clara stood. "This well wasn't in any report." "That's because it wasn't part of the story." "It was part of hers." "Then maybe she wanted it buried." Clara stared at the bricks. "She scratched her name into it. She wanted someone to come back. Or she wanted someone to stay away." She stepped back. "There's no bottom. There's no reason to keep looking." "She left something here." "She left everything." Clara crossed through the fence again. Her hand brushed the wood post. "There's more initials here." "Whose?" "Don't know." She traced over them with her thumb. "But it's the same date." Nate's voice was quiet now. "Mama told us never to stand here after dark." "I remember." "We should go." "I'm not done." "You should be." She looked at him. "Why didn't you tell me you came back here before?" "I didn't." "You knew about the well." "I never came close." "You knew it didn't echo." He didn't speak. Clara walked past him. "Something happened here." "Everything happened here." Not everything. Just the part they don't talk about." "They don't talk for a reason." "They're afraid." "So are you." She turned. "No, I'm not." "You should be." They walked back toward the house in silence. The weeds behind them moved like breath, and the well stayed open, waiting. The rocking chair hadn't moved all day, but by sundown it was facing the door again. Clara sat by the window, lamp on, jacket draped over the back of the couch. Nate paced near the kitchen. His boots scuffed the same spot over and over. Then came the knock, sharp, measured, not neighborly. Nate stiffened. Clara didn't move. Another knock, slower. She opened the door. Sheriff Rudd stood there. No car in sight, just him, holding his hat in one hand. The other hovered near his belt. "You walk here?" she asked. "Sometimes the road's too quiet to drive." She stepped aside. "You always knock that politely?" "I will try." He looked at the chair before his boots even crossed the threshold. "Still got that note?" he asked. "No." "You lie, too." "Easily." She stared. He walked in slowly, eyes fixed on the rocking chair. The lamp's glow caught his badge. "You come to take it back?" Clara said. "Didn't come for the note." "Then why are you here?" He didn't answer. Just looked down at the chair like it might speak first. "Say it," she pressed. He glanced at her. "Some notes ain't for you." "It was taped to my porch." "Still ain't yours." "I grew up with that handwriting." "I remember." "Then say her name." His jaw clenched. "She was your neighbor too," Clara said. "She was loud." "Like my daddy?" The sheriff looked away. "You know where this goes." "No," she said. "That's why I'm asking." You dig too deep. You don't like what comes up. Is that a threat? That's history. Are you afraid of history? I'm tired of it. She crossed her arms. You came out here just to say that. I came out here because I know what comes next. Then tell me. He stepped forward. Your mama wanted it gone. All of it. She left us the chair. No, she didn't. It came back. She didn't bring it. Then who did? He didn't speak. Clara stepped between him and the chair. You came out here to keep me quiet? I came to remind you. Of what? He stared hard. How many graves sit between here and the church? She didn't flinch. I know where they are. You want to join them? Are you threatening me? He looked tired. I'm asking you to stop. Why now? Because someone else is watching. Who? He didn't say. She stepped aside. Then you can go. He looked at her long, like maybe there was something left in her that reminded him of someone else. Then he nodded once, slowly, and walked out without turning back. She shut the door. Nate walked out from the kitchen. He's scared, Clara said. Of what? Who wrote the next one? She walked to the chair, crouched beside it. Her hands slid along the underside of the seat. Something caught my eye. She pulled. A folded paper, tucked deep between the cushion slats, stained and aged. She opened it carefully. 4 words. Faded ink. Try again tomorrow. W. She stared. Nate leaned in. What is it? She handed it to him. His face dropped. This is Daddy's handwriting. She nodded. But he... 30 years, she said. And it was sitting under our porch chair. That means... He left one too. He sat down slowly on the floor. Why would he do that? She looked at the door the sheriff had walked through. I think he wanted us to finish what they started. Nate whispered, or undo what they couldn't. The chair didn't move, but the paper shook in her hands. The barn went up before sunrise. Crack, population, then flame through the slats, like someone had poured breath into it. Clara ran barefoot across the yard, shirt clinging to her back. Nate right behind her. Smoke curled into the morning air like it had been waiting. Get the doors, she shouted. He kicked the latch open. Chickens scattered. The mule brayed loud, eyes wide. I've got her, Clara said, rope in hand. The fire ate the loft first, then the rafters, then the sky. They dragged the animals out into the dirt, one by one. Heat beats down harder than the sun. A beam split and crashed near the trough. Sparks flew. Clara yanked Nate back just in time. They fell beside the fence, breathing hard. Fire chewed the walls like they weren't even wet with last night's dew. Someone lit it, Nate said. I know. They waited till we were asleep. We weren't supposed to find that paper. They knew we did. Clara stood. Water won't help now. It's gone. They watched the roof collapse inward. Embers swirled like dust devils. Behind them, the rocking chair stayed still, untouched. Later, the neighbors came, not to help, just to stare, whisper, the kind of whisper that sounds like it's not meant to be heard, but always is. Wasn't no accident. Warned her once. Is she still digging up ghosts? Should have sold like the others. Nate stared them down until they walked off. Clara knelt in the blackened barn, sifting through ash with her bare hands. What are you doing? He asked. Looking. For what? She didn't answer. A minute passed, then another. She held something up, burnt edges. The center is mostly intact, a scrap of paper curled at the corners. What is it? Nate asked. She turned it around. Faded ink. Same 4 words. Try again tomorrow. Nate stepped back. You're kidding. It was under the feed bin. You think they left it during the fire? Number, I think it was already there. He knelt beside her. That handwriting's different. She looked close. Not Mama's. Not Daddy's. Who then? She folded it. I don't know. Nate stood. They're rewriting it. What? The past. They're making it look different, like it always had these pieces. She stared up at him. They want you to lose track, he said. So it all feels old, like it's been happening forever. It has. Not like this. She stood, dust on her palms. You think it's the sheriff? He's not that careful. Then who? Whoever's afraid of you remembering. She looked out toward the road. That narrows it down to everyone. He said nothing. They walked back toward the house. Animals scattered around the yard. Smoke still curled from what was left of the barn. I'm staying, she said. I figured. You can go. I'm not. She looked over. You think I'd leave you here alone? You already did, for 30 years. He didn't argue. Inside, the house felt different, like something had moved when they weren't looking. The lamp had gone cold. The chair had turned again, facing the back door now. She sat across from it, note in her hand. Nate watched. You gonna keep it? I'm gonna match it. To what? Whatever's next. You think there's more? She nodded. You think they'll stop? No. Then what are we doing? We will try again tomorrow. He laughed once, bitter. That phrase is gonna save us. No, she said. It's gonna tell us when they blink. He leaned on the wall. I don't want to bury you. You won't. He looked at the chair. You sure? She didn't speak. Outside, the barn finished dying. Inside, the chair didn't move. But in Clara's hand, the paper felt warm, like it had just been written. Clara knocked once on the old screen door. It didn't open. Inside, the smell of bread rose like something holy. The kitchen window fogged with heat. A small figure moved behind the curtain, slow, hunched, steady. Then a voice. Do you come for warmth or warning? Clara stepped back. Bread, I guess. Then come in. The screen squealed open. Clara pushed through. Mira Denning stood at the table, hands coated in flour, sleeves rolled to her elbows. A loaf sat cooling on the counter. Another waited in the pan. She didn't look up. You still wear your mama's coat. It fits. Not everything old should. Clara didn't answer. Mira turned. You saw it then? Yes. The chair? And the notes. Mira nodded once, slow. They're not for reading. I read them anyway. You always were stubborn. You always were quiet. Mira reached for the knife, sliced the bread clean, steam spilling out. She handed Clara a piece. You know what it means? Clara asked. The note. All of it. Mira sat across from her. Notes mean debts. Clara waited. Mira tore off her piece. Debts mean graves. That's it. Sometimes that's enough. Clara leaned in. My father wrote one. My mother did too. So did mine. Why? Mira's eyes narrowed. Because we didn't want to kneel. Clara held her breath. To who? You already know. The governor. Mira looked toward the hallway, then back. We made a choice once. Same as your daddy. And you regret it? I'm still here. Clara folded the crust. He left us that chair. He left you a war. Clara's voice hardened. Then why are you baking? Because I lost. Clara stood. I haven't. Mira gripped her wrist. Then burn the chair. Clara froze. What? You heard me. I'm not. You want to win? Burn it. No. Mira let go. I'm not giving them what they want. They want your silence. Then they're not getting it. Mira stood. You think you're different. I am. You're just next. Clara stepped toward the door. Mira's voice followed. You know why the notes show up in threes? Clara turned. Because someone's watching. Mira shook her head. Because one lies, one warns, one remembers. Clara stared. And which one is mine? You better pray it's the third. The screen door snapped behind her. Outside, the road looked colder, the sky is lower, and Mira's bread cooled in silence. The church smelled like damp wood and boiled ham. Folding chairs lined the walls. Children ran between them. Old men in starched collars nodded like clocks. Clara stood in the back. The governor arrived like a sermon in a storm, pressed suit, 2 clean boots, smiles sharpened for cameras that didn't exist. He moved slowly, deliberately, one handshake at a time. The room hushed before he even opened his mouth. Good folks, he said. Always good to return to a town with memories. No one breathed. I'm honored to see so many familiar faces, he went on. Some I grew up with, some I buried, some I pardoned. A few chuckles, a few stiff nods. He scanned the crowd. His eyes found Clara. He stepped forward. Well, he said, if it isn't Clara White. Murmurs passed like wind. Didn't think I'd see you back on this dirt. She didn't blink. Your daddy used to stand right about where you're standing, he said. Spoke a little louder, though. She took one step forward. He spoke clearer, too. The room shifted. The governor smiled. He said dangerous things, Clara. He spoke the truth. Truth got men shot. Your truth did. He tilted his head. Now that sounds like a story. It was. He walked closer. You remember it wrong. I was there. You were a child. I was awake. He took a breath. Your father tried to divide people. He made them choose. He made them remember. Then why'd he end up in a ditch? Clara flinched. The room went still. The governor turned slightly, addressing the crowd. We can't keep digging up old bones and calling them battles. What we need is peace. She spoke up. Peace isn't silence. He smiled without teeth. Depends who's doing the talking. No, she said. It doesn't. He walked past her. You've always been stubborn. You've always been scared. That made him stop. He turned. Of what? She didn't hesitate. Of the truth Mama hid in the well. Of the notes you couldn't burn. Of the name you scratched out of your own speeches. Your mother was unstable. She outlived her silence. He stepped in close. Watch your words. I'm not the one watching anymore. He lowered his voice. You want to end up like him. Say his name. Why? So they remember. He stared at her. I remember. Then carry it. He looked at the crowd. Are you folks still following this? No one moved. She turned to them. You knew him. You know what happened. The oldest woman in the front row shifted her gaze. A man in the back coughed and looked down. No one spoke. Clara laughed once, bitter. Cowards. The governor stepped aside. She came back full of fire. Better than ash. He watched her, eyes twitching just once. Are you done now? He asked. She looked across the pews. Yeah, you can have your silence back. She walked out slowly. The door didn't slam. Outside, Nate waited by the truck. How bad? He asked. She got in. They left me hanging. You expected otherwise. I thought maybe. You shouldn't. She looked out the window. Nate watched her. He looked nervous. He was shaking. No one saw it. I did. He started the engine. That's enough. They drove down the church hill in silence. No one waved. No one had the guts to follow. The door to her mother's room hadn't been opened in years. The hinges stuck like they remembered. Clara kicked it once. It groaned open. Dust layered everything. The bed sagged in the middle. The curtains were stiff with time. The quilt, still folded at the footboard, had her father's blood on it. She'd never washed it. Nate leaned in the doorway. You sure you want to do this? She pulled the dresser aside. I'm past sure. He didn't argue. She dropped to her knees, hands running along the floorboards. One creaked louder than the rest. She pried it up with a screwdriver. The wood splintered. Inside, tucked deep, folded neat, a thick envelope tied with twine. Nate stepped in. That's it? Clara untied it. Feels like it. The paper was yellowed, but whole. Her mother's handwriting, sharp and exact. She read out loud. If you're reading this, I can't tell you myself. Nate sat on the edge of the bed. Your father didn't fall. He didn't vanish. He was cornered. The sheriff gave the order. The governor signed the paper. They buried it as a favor to me. They told me to keep quiet. I did. For you two. Clara's hand tightened. But before it all, we tried. We met in the barn. 15 families, some with nothing left to lose. They wanted to take the vote from us. They wanted the land. Your father said no. He stood. They called it rebellion. Nate spoke. She was part of it. Clara nodded. I never forgave myself for surviving. I begged them not to burn the house. They didn't listen. I told them I'd forget. I didn't. I marked the well. I left the chair. If you find this, try again tomorrow. Silence. Then Clara folded the pages back. That's it, Nate asked. She didn't sign it. She didn't. Need to. Clara stood. They did it together. You think they knew it would fail? No, she said. I think they knew it would be buried. Nate rubbed his face. Why leave this hidden? She knew the sheriff wouldn't stop watching. We have proof now. No, Clara said. We have her voice. Same thing. Number, but it's enough. She looked around the room. Nothing else moved. No wind, no creaks, no sound. Just the letter and the silence. Clara walked the hill slowly. The air felt thinner up here. The path narrowed. Dirt gave way to gravel, then to patchy grass, too dry to grow right. Nate stayed by the truck, said he didn't want to see it again. The graveyard wasn't big, maybe 30 markers, crooked and fading. Most didn't have full names. Some had none at all. She stopped at one. D. Witt, August 18. No birth, no epitaph, just a name and a date. She touched the stone. The chills sank fast. Footsteps crunched behind her. "Shouldn't be here this late," a voice said. She turned. The old gravedigger leaned on a rusted shovel. His coat was patched. His hands were black with dirt. "I'm not scared of the dark," she said. "Should be. Do you remember him?" He looked at the grave. "I dug it." "Did you see what happened?" "I saw what they let me." "You ever ask why?" "They said don't." "And you listened?" He gave a dry laugh. "I dig holes, not answers." She stepped past another row. 4 more stones bore the same date. "You know what this day was," she said. "I know what it cost." Clara faced him. "They all tried." "Yeah, and they failed." They were silenced. "Same thing." She shook her head. Number silence is what comes after fear. This was done to them. He didn't argue. She looked around. "Where's the rest?" "Burned or erased." "You remember their names?" "I remember the shovels," he said. "That's all they left me." She knelt by a stone with no writing at all. The surface was smooth, like someone had wiped it clean. "Why keep it empty?" she asked. He stared long. "That one never had time for a name." She stood. "It won't stay empty forever." The man shifted his shovel. "You gonna bring more names?" "No," she said. "I'm here to return one." He frowned. "You don't pick which will come back." "I didn't pick this." She turned toward the edge of the hill. Her steps slowed. There it was, the rocking chair. Same shape, same worn slats, same scrape along the back leg, sitting between 2 markers. She didn't move closer yet. The gravedigger stayed behind. "That wasn't there this morning." "I didn't bring it." "No one did." She walked to it. The wind didn't blow, but the chair rocked once. A note was pinned to the seat, folded, stiff, yellowed. She opened it. "3rd, time's yours. Try again tomorrow." Her stomach sank. "What's it say?" the man asked. She didn't answer. She just folded it and slipped it into her jacket. "Are you leaving it there?" "No." He watched her. "Are you planning to sit in it?" "Not yet." She turned back to the graves. Each one stared back like a question she already knew. "I think they left this here for me," she said. "They leave it for anyone who remembers." She looked at him. "You remember more than you say." "Doesn't mean I speak it." "You should." "Too late." "It's not," she said. He adjusted his shovel. "They always think that right before it is." She didn't reply. She picked up the chair, lifted it off the grass. It groaned like something waking. She carried it down the hill. The graves didn't stop her, and neither did the dead. The quilt had been packed in a cedar box beneath the stairs, wrapped in cloth, folded neat, smelled of salt, smoke, and old pine. Clara laid it across the table slowly. Nate stood stiff across from her, arms crossed, jaw tight. "Where'd you find it?" he asked. "In the shed." "Whose?" "Hers." He stared at it. "That's not Mama's stitching." "No," Clara said. "It's Grandma's." The fabric was sun-faded. The thread is brittle, but the pattern held. Names, row after row, all stitched by hand. White, Tellin, Dunce, Morrow, Len, Rudd. He pointed. "That's the sheriff's family." "I know." "You think she kept track of all of them?" "She kept a record." His hand hovered above the quilt, but didn't touch it. Clara flipped to the bottom row. One square unfinished, thread left hanging. "Barely there." She whispered, "That's my name." He stepped back. "Number that's not possible." She started it. She didn't finish it. Someone meant to. He turned. "We were never free of this." "You think that's what it means?" She was marking the ones they chose. She was marking the ones who stood. He laughed once. "That's what you want it to be." She stitched our name. She stitched it half dead. Clara folded the edge gently. "This proves they resisted. This proves they lost." "No," she said. "It proves they tried." Nate slammed his hand on the table. "And look where it got them." Clara stared. They weren't trying to win. They were trying to leave a trail. "For who?" "For us." He shook his head. "I didn't ask for this." "Neither did I. I wanted out. You ran. And you stayed." "I had to." "Number, you wanted to. You wanted to be the one to pull it all back up. I wanted to know what broke us." He paced. "We were born broken." "No," she said. "We were born blind." He stopped. "You see it now?" "All of it." "Enough." "And what now?" "We finished it." "How?" Clara lifted the square. "We stitch it in." "No," Nate said. Don't you dare. She met his eyes. Why? Because that makes you next. I already am. He went still. Then I burn it. She pulled it toward her. You try, I'll stop you. You'd fight me over this. She folded it in half. I'd fight anyone who tries to erase it. He leaned close. You want your name in the ground? I want it where it belongs. He stepped back. You're just like him. Clara's voice dropped. He didn't bend. And he died. He mattered. Nate looked at the door. Not enough. Clara rose. Then help me change that. He didn't move. She laid the quilt across the rocking chair. Her fingers traced the square again. Nate's voice came softer. What if we're cursed? Then we carry it. He shook his head. I can't. You already are. She walked past him into the room. He stayed at the table, one hand on the edge, one eye on the quilt, and the thread waited. Unfinished. The knock came after dark. 3 short, 1 long. Not like the others. Clara opened the door. Sheriff Rudd stepped in without asking. No badge on his chest, just a folded gun laid gently on the kitchen table like a tired truth. Nate didn't move from the corner. He kept his eyes low. The sheriff sat. You sewed that quilt? He asked. No. Then why display it? It belongs here. He looked at her long. Are you sure about that? Yes. He leaned forward. They all think it's just thread and fabric. It's not. She waited. It's proof. She nodded. That's why you want it gone. He smiled thin. You always speak like you know more than you do. Then tell me. He tapped the table once. The notes weren't warnings. I figured. They were commands. Clara's throat tightened. From who? From him. She shook her head. No. Your father started it? No. 30 years ago, we waited, all of us, for his word. You're lying. He promised a raise. He promised protection. He promised action. Clara stepped back. You killed him. No. The sheriff said. I buried the fallout. She stared. He left notes like seeds, he said. Dropped them in chairs, barns, and windowsills. People thought they meant freedom. They did. They meant blood. She clenched her jaw. You're twisting it. I was there. You shut him down. I waited, like they did. You hunted him. He slammed the table. He never gave the signal. She froze. The room held its breath. He disappeared, the sheriff said. Left everyone hanging. Some acted anyway. Most died. Clara whispered. He didn't abandon them. Then where was he? She stared. Here, somewhere they couldn't find him. The sheriff leaned close. He left the first note. That's true. No. You want to know why the well never echoes? She didn't speak. Because it's full of guilt. She turned to the window. Get out. I came without the badge. And you still wear it. He stood. You want to believe he was a martyr? He wasn't. He gave people hope. He gave them silence. She faced him. You buried his voice. You don't get to twist it now. He walked to the door. Stopped. You see what you stitched into? I do. It won't end clean. She stepped forward. It'll end honestly. He nodded once. Then don't forget this. What? Your father's note started it. She looked down. Mine finishes it. He left. The door stayed open behind him. Clara sat at the table. Nate whispered, Do you believe him? No. Not even a little? She touched the edge of the folded quilt. Even if it's true, he was still right. You sure? I don't have to be. Her hand slid into the drawer, pulled out the last needle. The chair was back by morning, sat dead center on the porch, facing the road like it had never left. Rocking slow, no footprints, no scrape marks. Just there, waiting. Clara stepped outside barefoot, the quilt draped over her shoulders. Dew soaked through the boards. She saw the paper before she even reached it. A folded note pinned to the seat, cleaner than the last. No burn, no fade. She peeled it free, read the words twice. Clara Witt, not tomorrow. Her breath caught. Nate pushed through the screen door behind her. Is that for you? Yes. Let me see it. She handed it over. His hands shook. He looked up. They know your name now. They always did. You don't have to do this. Yes, I do. You could leave. She stared at the chair. I could. Then why won't you? She stepped closer. Because I stayed. The chair creaked once, slow. Nate muttered, I don't like this. You think I do? You gonna sit? She didn't answer. He stood beside her. Clara, she turned. I'm not afraid. You should be. I've always been. He reached out. Please don't. She touched the armrest. They want me to. Then fight it. No, she said. This time I answer. The chair rocked once. Nate backed away. I'll burn it. She stepped between him and the chair. You won't. They'll watch. Let them. He pointed at the trees. They're already here. Clara scanned the edge of the road. One figure, then another. Men, women, faces half known, all still. They watched from behind fence posts and tree trunks and pickup hoods. Clara whispered, they came for the end. Nate turned. This isn't the end. She looked at him. It's a return. She sat. The chair groaned beneath her. The wind stirred, not strong but steady, enough to keep the chair moving. Forward, back. Nate dropped to the steps, hands in fists. Say something. She stared out at the crowd. No one spoke. Clara whispered, not tomorrow. Nate looked up. What? She said it louder. Not tomorrow, tonight. The rocking picked up. The trees shifted. Nate stood. Who are you talking to? She gripped the arms. All of them. He looked at the road. They're not moving. They're listening. To what? She leaned forward. To what comes next? The paper in Nate's hand fluttered once. He stepped back. Clara raised her voice. You buried my father. Someone in the trees flinched. You silenced my mother. A woman covered her mouth. You burned our barn. You lied in church. You rode over graves. The chair rocked harder. Clara didn't tremble. You told us to wait. You told us maybe. You said next time. You said soon. You said try again tomorrow. She stood, and the chair stopped. Not tomorrow. The trees stilled. Tonight. Silence dropped like weight. Nate whispered, Clara, but she was already walking off the porch, straight into the crowd. The first fire started behind the old grain mill. No alarm, no siren, just smoke curling up over the town like someone exhaled a long, bitter truth. Clara stood at the edge of the porch barefoot. The note in her hand felt heavier than paper should. Nate stepped out beside her. It's real this time. It's always been real. They watched the glow rise behind the trees, flickers against the sky, popping wood, the smell of something familiar dying. You think it's them? He asked. No, she said. I think it's us. They walked fast but didn't run, past shuttered stores, past houses with curtains twitching. No one called out. No one offered help. No one stopped them. The fire lit up the windows and the old cracks in the walls. By the time they reached Maine, the second barn was already lit. Orange light spilled across the dirt like it belonged there. The church bell clanged once, not for worship, just warning. A man near the post office shouted, She lit it! That white girl! Clara didn't stop walking. You think I'd burn down the lie I'm proving? Another man cursed. We knew she'd stir it back up. Then you knew it wasn't buried, Clara said. A woman across the street pointed. That's your fire too. No, Clara said. That was always burning. You just looked away. Nate caught up. You're pushing them too hard. They let it happen. They were scared. I still am. Near the church steps, Sheriff Rudd waited, shirt soaked through, hands at his sides. This is how you want it? He asked. No, Clara said. But it's what you left us. You had a choice. No, she said. Mama didn't. Daddy didn't. The ones buried on the hill didn't. He stepped forward. You're gonna get people hurt. They were already hurt. Then what's this do? It makes it seen. Behind her, someone lit the third fire. The church caught on slowly. Dry wood, rotten roof, soaked in time. The steeple bent first. Then the cross snapped. People started gathering from alleys, doorways, fence lines. Not shouting, just watching. The governor's truck pulled in near the old diner. The engine was still running when he stepped out. White shirt, clean boots, no coat. He looked at the flames, then at her. Are you proud of this? No, Clara said. I'm finished hiding from it. You think this is history? I think it's yours. He smiled like a snake too tired to strike. Your father was a fool. And you're a coward. He looked at the crowd. Anyone else ready to burn their own town? No one answered. Clara raised her voice. You remember that night, the night they dragged out the ones who wouldn't kneel? Someone said yes. Another said, I remember the barn door opening. Another. I remember Daniel White on his knees. Clara said, You remember the notes? A woman near the feed store stepped out. Try again tomorrow. Another. Try again. Another. Try. Clara held the newest note over the flame barrel beside her. This one had my name. Sheriff Rudd growled. Don't. She dropped it. It curled, then blackened, then vanished. What did it say? The governor barked. Clara turned. Not tomorrow. Silence broke like glass. She stepped toward the crowd. Say the names, she said. The girl who once worked at the corner store stepped out. Carla Len. A farmer's son spoke. Warren Milt. An old woman's voice cracked. Maybelle Rudd. The sheriff turned his head. Clara faced him. Your sister. He didn't answer. You think we forgot? He looked away. The governor stepped forward. This isn't justice. It's a memory. It's a riot. It's a reckoning. He raised a fist. You're a child with fire. Clara stepped closer. You're a man who lit matches in secret and blamed the smoke on ghosts. He spat near her feet. You want me gone? No, she said. I want you named. The crowd pressed in. He backed up. Clara turned. The chair was there again. Center of the road. No one touched it. No one saw who placed it. Still rocking. Still facing her. Nate stood beside it. This ends here. No, Clara said. It started here. You gonna sit? No. He waited. Clara lifted the quilt, held it high. My grandmother stitched every name they tried to forget. The wind shifted. The fires moved in rhythm. She pulled the final square free, the one half finished. Her own name faded, but still waiting. She threaded the last needle. The crowd watched. You gonna finish it now? The sheriff asked. No, she said. You are. She handed him the needle. He didn't take it. The governor laughed. Is this what you call justice? Sewing names into blankets? No, Clara said. This is called remembering. She turned to the sheriff. You helped bury them. Now unbury one. He didn't move. Clara leaned close. Maybelle. He took the needle, hands shaking. He knelt, finished the stitch. Gasps from the crowd. Then stillness. The chair stopped rocking. The wind dropped. Only flames, only breath. Only the weight of things is no longer hidden. The smoke hadn't cleared. It drifted low over the fields like it had nowhere left to go. The fires were behind them now, but the heat still lingered in the dirt. Clara walked ahead with the chair balanced across her shoulders, not dragging it, carrying it, like a body or a burden. Nate followed, saying nothing. The fence around the old well was split in half. Brambles had grown through the slats, but the center path was clear, as if something had been walking it already. She stopped at the edge. The stones were darker than before, charred, black around the rim like something inside had burned its way out. Nate stood a few paces behind. Are you really sure about this? No. You think it ends anything? I think it opens it. He shifted. Mama wouldn't want this. She's the one who marked the well. She was scared. She was honest. Clara crouched beside the bricks, ran her hand along the carved initials, her mother's, and then scratched deeper, smaller, D. Witt, her father's. The dates matched. The same week the town lost its voice. The same week they buried silence. I came here the night she died, she said. I know. I was 12. I was hiding in the shed. I found her scarf by the fence, she said. Nate looked away. I found her coat in the fire pile. Clara nodded. They took her piece by piece. She tilted the chair forward, letting the legs scrape stone. The sound was low, dragging, like a door swinging open slowly. Nate's face tensed. You're really gonna drop it? Yes. It came back. So did we. You think it belongs there? It never left. She eased the chair toward the well's mouth. The front legs dangled. The seat hovered. She let her hand rest on the back one last time. Then she let go. The chair dropped like it had been waiting. It felt clean. No bump. No scrape. Then, deep inside, something cracked. Wood. Splintering. Then a sound not like wind or water, but something older. A low roar, like dozens of voices pushing up through stone. Nate flinched. Jesus. She didn't move. The well shook once. Then it was quiet. She pulled the same pebble from her coat, the one from the first time, still smooth, still cold. I kept it, she said. I know. You remember what Mama said about this well? She said it doesn't echo. She said it holds what we bury. Clara held the pebble above the opening. Nate stepped closer. Clara, don't. She didn't look at him. She whispered, Daniel Witt. Then, Marlin Witt. Then she dropped it. It fell long. Then, clack. Not a splash. Not a thud. A solid strike, like stone hitting metal, like a bell being rung in the dirt. Nate exhaled. That's the first time. Yeah, they heard it. They've always heard it. She stood. The well didn't speak again. What now? He asked. She looked at the horizon. The church was still smoldering. The sky over town was tinted orange. We finished what they started. They started something that killed them. They started something that was supposed to survive them. He looked at the stones. You think this is what they wanted? No, she said. But it's what they left. Nate said, the quilt's still in the house. Clara nodded. The names are waiting. He took a breath. And after that, we write ours. You think they'll let us? They don't have to. Nate looked down the well. Feels like something's still in there. There is, she said. But it's ours now. He looked at her. Does it still scare you? Yes. You're hiding it well. I'm not hiding anything. You never did. Clara turned. I walked back through the broken fence. The ground crunched beneath her feet. The wind didn't blow. The air was thick and flat. Behind her, Nate stood at the edge. Then he stepped forward. I looked down. Didn't speak. He reached into his pocket, pulled out a scrap of paper, folded, worn, stained at the edges. He held it for a second, then he dropped it in. It floated, then twisted, then vanished. He turned and followed Clara. The well didn't roar again, but the silence that followed felt different, settled, or maybe ready. The field behind them held the smoke like a memory it didn't want to release. Crows circled once, then flew east. The trees didn't move. The wind still refused to speak. Clara walked without looking back. She reached the porch as the sun cracked behind the hills. The chair was gone, but the square of shadow where it sat still clung to the wood. Nate stood beside her. You ever wonder if we brought it back? He asked. It never left. We just stopped looking. We stopped listening. He nodded. You think it's really done? No, she said, but now it has a place. He sat on the steps. You ever gonna tell them? Clara looked toward town. Lights were starting to flicker back on, small, flickering, weak. Tell them. What? Who did it? What really happened? She was quiet for a long time. Then she said, They already know. He looked up at her. And if they ask, I'll say they were there. And if they deny it, I'll say I remember well. He smiled without joy. You sound like Mama. Clara sat down beside him. She left the needle for me. Nate whispered, You think they'll come for us again? She looked toward the hills. If they do, we won't be the only ones standing. They sat in silence. The porch didn't creak. The field didn't move. But far beneath them, deep below where light could reach, something finally rested. Or maybe wait. Either way, the well was open now. The light came slowly, pale, not golden, like it didn't want to touch the town too fast. Smoke clung to the trees, low to the ground, thin enough now to see through. The porch creaked once under Clara's steps. She walked out barefoot. No coat, no quilt. Just breathing in the cold, and a knot in her stomach that hadn't loosened in 30 years. The rocking chair was gone. She stared at the spot where it always sat. The wood was marked. The dust settled. Nate opened the door behind her. You see it? No. He stepped beside her. You sleep? No. I did, he said, but only for 10 minutes. I think I saw her. Clara didn't speak. She said your name. She always did, Clara said. He looked down. What now? Clara pointed toward the step. A glint. Metal. They both saw it. The sheriff's badge, split clean through the middle. Not rusted. Fresh. She knelt. I picked it up, ran her thumb along the crack. Do you think he left it? Nate asked. I think he had to, she said. You think he's gone? He was gone the moment he said nothing. She set the badge down again. The door behind them stayed open. The town was quiet. No cars, no dogs barking. Just the slow return of breath. Clara stood at the edge of the steps. They're coming. Who? Everyone else. He looked at the horizon. You sure? Yeah. Down the road, The first figure appeared, then another, then a line. People walking. Quiet. No signs, no shouting, just faces. The girl from the post office, the man who ran the store without a name, old Mrs. Tellen, holding a scarf that once belonged to someone buried with no stone, the twins, the widow who never looked up, even the boy who once threw rocks at her window walked like he meant it now. They came in silence. Clara stepped off the porch. Nate didn't follow. "Are you sure about this?" he asked. "No," she said, "but it's here." She walked barefoot into the yard. The earth is still warm under the ash. The barn was gone. The fence is broken. The well is quiet behind them. But something about the air felt different now. Not heavy, not waiting. The people stopped near the porch. No one pushed forward. No one stepped back. A woman called out, "No more notes." "No," Clara said. "No more chairs. Gone." What happens now? Clara stopped in the field. She turned to face them. "We choose." A man in the middle asked, "Choose what?" "What to do with what's left?" A younger boy said, "I heard they're going to rebuild the church." "They can," Clara said. "Or not. That's not mine." Another man, "You want power now?" "No," she said. "I want a memory." Someone scoffed. "That's all?" "That's everything." Nate stepped forward. "She's not asking you to follow her. She's showing you where it ends," said the storekeeper. "No," Clara said. "Where it begins." A quiet passed. Then someone stepped forward. A girl, no more than 15. She held a piece of cloth, torn, stained. She said, "I think this belonged to my mother." Clara nodded. "Stitch it in." The girl stepped forward. "With what?" Clara pulled the needle from her pocket. The last one, still threaded, still ready. The girl's hands shook as she took it. Behind her, others pulled scraps, names, bits of shirts, notes they never showed, things found under floorboards, in barns, in books no one finished. The quilt returned, one stitch at a time. Clara didn't speak again. She just walked to the center of the field. The sun climbed slowly. Nate joined her. "You think it'll hold?" he asked. "No," she said. "But we will." He looked behind them. The crowd was kneeling, sewing, writing, remembering. "What do we tell them later?" he asked. "That they already knew." He stared at the broken badge on the porch. "You think he meant to leave it?" "I think it cracked when it hit the truth." Nate smiled. "Sounds like you." Clara looked forward. "They said tomorrow would come. You think this is it?" "No," she said. "This is after." Nate whispered, "Then what's next?" Clara closed her eyes, took a breath, let the warmth reach her skin for the first time in years. Then she said it. "Tomorrow ain't waiting anymore." The field stayed quiet, but this time it didn't feel empty. It felt earned.